What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're here for a new college football 25 rebuild of the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. They dropped maybe the most fire jerseys I've seen, and as soon as I found out they were in this game, I put two and two together. Okay, so we got awesome jerseys, which always helps with the presentation, especially when you're taking over. They are a one-star program. So when you are building them up, they have the branding already there that once we make this school into a powerhouse, watch out. Kind of like Oregon. We're going to be the Oregon of the South. That's kind of my goal. And then the meme of all memes, General Booty, formerly quarterback of the Oklahoma Sooners, is their man under center for 2 seasons. We are going to have the General at the helm. It's time to make Louisiana Monroe not only the best team in the Sun Belt, but we got real big plans. We're going to strap the rocket to this program and on the way to the moon. The greatest alumni in school history is Doug Peterson. So we got his brother who knows everything about the game that Doug does, Dougler Peterson. And he's going to be the man, the myth, the legend that leads Louisiana Monroe to these 5 huge challenge goals that we need to try to achieve over the next 10 years. Number 1 is win the Sun Belt. Number 2, as it relates to the Sun Belt, if we can win the Sun Belt 3 times, we're going to bump ourselves up and play big boy ball in the SEC. Number 3 is we need to get ranked. Kind of a layup, but Monroe has never been ranked ever in the school's history, so that will be a monumental moment. Number 4 is once we are in the SEC, we're now going to win the SEC, and that is going to be a massive jump up in competition. And number 5, gotta win the Natty. Big picture, looking at this roster, he's bad. This is a rough team to be. It's what we wanted. I was very close to doing another team builder rebuild. I'll probably do that next. I thought this is as good because they're that weak, that need of development. And I mean, Booty 95 throw. This guy is he's honestly like a low-key a beast. That's like probably one of the best sub 75 overall quarterbacks in the nation. The running back room is not spectacular. We got White Lightning down here. Bennett Galloway, 92 speed, 92 acceleration. He's probably going to be our starter. Wide receivers don't have a lot of speed in that room. Griffin, Britt, Wiley. So, yeah, we're probably going to hit the pound the pavement, as they will say, to lay in some deep threats in this recruiting class, because that is not nearly fast enough to maximize the 95 throw power of General Booty. Tight end room is maybe the worst tight end room in the game, and why is there so many of them? Half these guys look like volunteers. They're not actually scholarship football players. Offensive line, great. 62 left tackle. That's what we need. Ooh. Elijah Fisher, 84 overall on Monroe. What is he, a junior? Honestly, might end up being draftable. Got the senior 77 Mickle at center. Right guard's not that great. Right tackle's not that great. So offensive line needs to definitely be a priority sooner than later. On the defense, oh my God, we got a 62 D-end. Little bit more on the other side. Cavante Wells and Howell. And they're both juniors, so should have an extra training camp that's going to bump their ratings up. The D tackle, 78 for Hamlin, 75 for Ware. I mean, they're all seniors and juniors, which I don't think that's necessarily a valid complaint, but it's not like we got a guy here that's like a sophomore that's popping off, that we're going to have multiple seasons of growth. 1 or 2 years for the D-line. But you know what? The way I view it, it gives us 1 or 2 years worth of recruiting to kind of get that sorted out a little bit. Linebacking core, we have Billy Pullen, 75, Randall, 73, 80 for Carl Glass. 75 for the junior Stewart, but Glass, huh? Not there right now. He's going to be wearing the green dot. Right outside linebacker, not good. Secondary, not as bad as I would have expected. 77 for Vigors, 78 for Godsey. Nice little slot dude, good athleticism. He'll be here for hopefully 2 seasons. Again, we always need to worry a little bit. What? Saywan? What is it, like a mercy fight? Because I am saying it. What 50 cent? When I made a cupcake team, they weren't this bad. All right. A lot of work needs to get done here. So the good and bad. I'll start with the bad. The bad is there are no offensive linemen, tackle, guard, center, that even look worth my time right now. And we're always, and will always abide by the house rule that the player has to show interest in our school for us to go after them. Because I probably could go cheese a couple of these 3-star guys that don't have really anything, but that will come with time. But there is not one tackle. We only have one star guard that has interest in our school. Nothing at center. So we are not going to be able to improve the offensive line this year, which is annoying. Hopefully we get a good role come transfer portal. But for a 1-star team, we were able still to fill the board here with 3 stars. We got Ehus, a gem 3-star running back. We got a dual threat quarterback here in Kerry McRoberts, who, looks like that, a pretty fun dual threat. 93 acceleration, 86 speed, 96 throw power. I'm interested. But on top of that, on only 3, we got General Booty's brother, Randy Booty. That could be cool. But we have the 4-star Glenn Head and the 4-star Nico Oliveira. Have us with not only within their top 10, we're almost top 5 on 2 4-star players. So it's very clear. We're going to send the house right away and make sure we can land those guys to be the belle of the ball of our first ever recruiting class. I am a little worried. We only have 500 hours. That's a little high on the targets. I'd like that closer to 10 than 14, but we'll try our best. Looking at our year 1 schedule, keep it in line with what they're playing in real life. Auburn, interesting. I mean, I don't know what necessarily our expectations could be. Week 4 against Texas. We were 5-7 last year. I'd say like that. I want to be like 6-6. I want to be better than what we were last season, especially with General Booty at the helm. I think it's fair to get a baseline of where this program's at, because at some point I imagine we're going to be big dogs. Let's see if we can run the score up here a little bit against the UGF Pandas and see if we can get 9 touchdowns and break some records with General Booty. We're also going with arguably, I'm not going to say arguably, because there's some great jerseys, but I'm going to say for the context of how small Monroe is in the grand scheme of college football, that is a top 10 jersey in all of college football. The P40 Warhawk alternative. Look good, play good. 3rd and 7. Big first down. Big 3rd down for the General. Look at that. Douglas Peterson schemes out his 43, his little Darren Sproles of the offense. I think we're in 4-down territory here. Opening drive at home against a school we should be smacking. Got him. All right. That guy can run. Number 0 can run a slant. 0 Griffin. I like the cut of that guy's jib, as I used to say in the 90s. Oh, look at that. Corner of the end zone. And number 0. Get a name on that number. What a beast. I think 0 just won again. Beast. All right, number 0. That's our wide receiver 1. Griffin. Peter Griffin. He just won again. Tyler Griffin is his name. And the Griffin to Booty combo. Watch out. And that's all you can ask for. Starting the dynasty, starting the rebuild against FCS competition or not with a victory, as it's gonna be tough these first couple years. But Tyler Griffin, the junior, this kid was unstoppable. What a monster. Actually, off that win, we got Defensive Player of the Week in the Sun Belt, Jaden Hamlin, the junior D tackle with 3 TFLs and a sack. And even though it takes 2 to tango, I thought General Booty had a great game. Tyler Griffin with 9 catches, $139, 4 touchdowns, his Player of the Week. Quick update on recruiting. Damn. And there we go. We get our first recruit of the rebuild, Zach Mixon, the 3-star wide receiver out of Slidell, Louisiana. Also land Slade McAllister, 3-star pass rusher. And we're going to get a couple more to fall. The dual threat, Kerry McRoberts, great skill set, commits the 3-star. John Ewens. Uus. Go with that. The gem running back commits. We get the speedster deep threat, Dre Slater. Big time D tackle, Jimmy McConnell. And the class is starting to come together, even if we lose out on Frederick. So at the end of year number 1, shout out Miami, maybe kind of finally being back. We go 5-7. which, at least in the context of the set, we were third in our segment of the conference. Overall, though, still a ways to go. At least we didn't regress. Bowl game, but statistically, I mean, not brutal numbers. 2,600 yards, 25 touchdowns for General Booty, 12 interceptions. Could be better, could have been worse. Running the ball, 900 yards, 12 touchdowns for White Lightning, Bennett Galloway. We got receiving a Griffin, who was real good against UGF Pandas. 53 catches, almost 900 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Britt had 9 touchdowns in the slot. On the defensive side, 88 tackles from Esther. We got 6 sacks from Cavante Wells. Leads the team, 2 picks from Godsey Jr. The 80 overall corner, I will say, very worried that he's going to lead the team via the portal. And they've been talking about, I mean, no, what? Okay, we got Godsey to stay on extremely low. I'm going to be honest, maybe we should have used that on General Booty. No, we're losing the booty. The reason why I want to come here. We should have 1 more year of booty. Well, the transfer portal, I'm going to be honest, it's all offensive line. That's what we need to improve the most. Lydia, what? Actually, I'm surprised. We finished with a top 50 recruiting class. I thought we'd very much be on the outside looking in. And truth be told, even though we branded this as a 1-star rebuild, we were a 1.5 star. We were so bad, like we lost star last season, even though we kind of kept the status quo going 5 and 7. Now, here's my favorite part of small school rebuilds, because when you get to a big school, the dev traits are fun. They're nice to chase after, but you get so many of them, you kind of take it for granted. When you're a small school like Louisiana, a star, an impact, an elite, all those guys are gigantic playmakers. We got Zandamalia at center. I feel like we got him in the transfer portal on our last rebuild. He is a star dev freshman. So we got a lot of football ahead of him. Larkins at center. And really, all these guys, I almost view everyone on the offensive line as positionless. I'm going to put them in the best spot, be it center or guard, or even tackle. So we get impact on Larkins, impact on Craycraft, impact on Tyler Johnson, the freshman tackle, 6'6", 313. The star dev on the freshman, Jaden Chapman. Ooh, freshman as well. That is huge. All right, so now we're going to go into our actual recruiting class. We got Chisholm. It's an athlete. He's a quarterback, but we might look at a different position. Normal. Star dev on the punter, because that's what people want to chase after. A couple of normals here. Not our best stretch. Kerry McRoberts, who might very well be our starting quarterback. Great skill set, obviously. 96 throw power, 87 short, 86 mid, 81 throw on the run, 90. I mean, honestly, the awareness is probably the only thing that's hurting him. But that dev trait is rough. And knowing that we got Chisholm down there with an impact, slightly better dev, I mean, the arm talent, I mean, we might have to forego dev trait and just let McRoberts be our starter. Impact on McDonald, Smalls normal, McAllister impact, and a yes. Thought we might get something a little better out of a gem. But overall, all things considered, I'll take a top 50 recruiting class year 1. And following training camp, Hunter Herring might have the inside track being our starting quarterback. Kind of similar to Booty, 93 throw power. Got a nice arm there. Obviously, we do need to scope out the true freshmen to make the right decision, but he had a nice camp. Galloway had a nice camp. Probably going to be our starting running back again, even though Smith went up a little bit more. Wide receiver, Griffin, not really developing stings for sure, as he was one of the best wide receivers in the Sun Belt last season. Not huge development really across the board. A little bit on the interior of the line, which definitely helps. The offensive line was our top priority, including and obviously showing with what we landed in the transfer portal. Wells almost up to an 80. We got 84 on Jaden Hamlin. Okay. Could be a draftable player. Linebacking course, still not great. Secondary, Godsey went from 80 to 84. He's probably the biggest gainer from training camp. But overall, we got some good depth in the secondary. But yeah, overall, still a work in progress over, right? We know this is a big time job. It's going to take a couple years for us to get this thing rolling, I think. So upon further review, even though McRoberts does not have a dev trait, he clearly should be our starter. They're kind of even on the boost. Athletically, McRoberts is in a different area code. He also has the highest throw power and the best accuracy, so he's the right man for the job for the freshman. Just a brutal role not getting him with a dev trait. And even looking at his skill caps, I'm not expecting more throw power than 96. He's already good mobility. But, you know, a little bit of room to grow in accuracy. A lot of room to grow, clearly, with the low awareness there. I mean, he could probably, you know, 80, mid-80s. I mean, I don't really have that many problems playing him, and we're always... I guess the easier thing to say is we're still going to be chasing quarter... Like, you know, you might... If this guy was an elite dev, for an example, I probably wouldn't, because we have limited hours, be recruiting heavy at quarterback anymore. Because we have our guy. For at least the next season or two, we can put that other positions. Because there's no dev trade here, I think we're still trying to chase a high upside QB. Ooh, love seeing the true freshman, Kerry McRoberts, get player of the week 4 in a win over Troy. The 4-touchdown performance. A quick midseason update, we're 5-3, and we just got our first ranked win of the rebuild. Nebraska was ranked 21st, now non-ranked, as UL-Monroe 2012 was not a high... I mean, they got Raiola, was one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football, but Kerry McRoberts, the freshman, playing out of his mind. Protected the football, played a keen game. We got decent rushing numbers. Evans was like one of the most uniquely built wide receivers in the nation. 5'11", 222. Like, must have been a running back or like converted to wide receiver. Like, that was before my time. Defensively, pulling and howl, get some sacks. And that's honestly probably one of the best wins Monroe's ever had. There we go. That's the time. We got to go win it. But in year 1, 5-7, kind of status quo. Year 2, up to 8-4. We beat ranked Nebraska. We were actually very close, I thought, to actually being ranked and getting that first check mark of our challenges. But we go 8-4. I mean, some of our losses were quality losses. We lost to ranked North Texas at the time, ranked Louisiana at the time, Alabama. It was close. I love the fight. Number 5 ranked. I think there were 3. This is way back in week 2. We played our asses off and made it respectable against Alabama. We're starting to get more respect for this Louisiana Monroe program, and if we can get a Sun Belt championship here, it's going to go a long way, especially next year's recruiting. I think we might have a chance to win the Sun Belt to get a 4-star here or there and stop recruiting and trying to find the best 3-star gems. I got nothing better to do against Old Dominion. Let's hop in. I get a front row seat what's going on and maybe, just maybe, help them a little bit and see if we can get our first check mark of the rebuild here in year 2 and win the Sun Belt. All right. Old Dominion, huh? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't think it's going to look too good when we hop in. I think there was a couple turnovers, moments a little big, pissing down our leg. You know what? I'll take that down 1 score. What do we got here? Let's see if we can help him on a drive. The tight end takes his break. Oh, he has no speed, though. Oh, we'll get in midfield. 2 picks for the freshman Roberts right now under center. We got to tighten that up. Luckily, it's only a 1-score game. Good shot here, man. Griffin. Tyler Griffin, the X. It's kind of been our dude. We need a good ball there. Safety's right there. That's a great ball. I would not believe we've thrown 2 picks here. True freshman quarterback. Oh, I think we just let them score a couple times there. Hopefully those are field goals. Let's see. Open up the 3rd. Kind of damage has been done. I mean, couple field goals. Bend don't break defense. It's just the sim offense not firing on all cylinders here today. Can we get the shot? Oh, keep going. Oh my God, he just got it. Darren Sproles. Not really, but kinda. At an extra point away, Louisiana Monroe leads here in the Sun Belt Championship. Got a nice little interception there. Let's take this into the 4th and see where we're at. Early in the 4th, it is a 24-20 tight-knit ball game. How'd I do that? Trying to force feed our guy, and that is, I believe, the 3rd interception of the day from our freshman quarterback. Our defense bailed us out a couple times here. Are we going to be able just to kill this game off? Is it still 24-20? It is. And we are a couple first downs away. Got this inside. Oh, okay, that's good. 1 more first down. We should be able to get our Sun Belt Championship. And ultimately throwing with it with a quarterback that has 90 speed. Big time athlete. We could also just tuck and run. 1 first down. We have B at the sticks. And it is over. ugly 3-touchdown, 4-interception performance. But this is a very valuable teaching moment for the freshman quarterback that's got to have to, you know, take the positives out of this one and build on it for next season. But let's go. That is our first checkmark. Sun Belt Championship in year 2. The 9-win Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. We should have been wearing those fire jerseys, to be honest with you. That's nice. We did everything. A little bit of, I like the adversity. I love the fact that with all the turnovers offensively, the defense, time and time again, bailed us out. And enjoy that Sun Belt. And we get 2 more Sun Belts, which I hope, honestly, turn that heat down a little bit. Crank it down a little bit. Because I don't want to rattle off 3 straight and jump up to the SEC before this program is ready. And I don't think we're going to be there in 3 more years. I'm thinking this is definitely a rebuild that's probably going to go the full 10. And maybe around like year 6, we look at bringing this thing up into the SEC. But not too shabby here. 9-4 in year 2 and a Sun Belt championship. I don't talk about Heisman's outside this building when it's something truly spectacular. And a freshman quarterback for the Hurricanes, Sal DiMercado, 51 touchdowns. Jesus. We got ourselves a bowl game. Great. Awesome. We get the pissed off Clemson Tigers, who were the first team out of the college football playoff. This could be rough. Or we could shock the world. Just straight up sim this one. See if we can get first-hand visual experience of a victory. Clemson got the opening drive, scored a field goal. We're trading field goals. 3-3 ball game. And honestly, we're playing a lot in their territory. Oh my God. Okay, just to look at the score here at halftime. Maybe I'll run up like 26-13. We're beating them. All right, I'll come in and we'll throw a screen pass and we'll get back out. This would be, I mean, obviously, there's also an element of Clemson not caring whatsoever about this bowl game. That block 6-9. Because they were this close to the college football playoff, and I get it, right? They don't care. They don't care. And this is the biggest game of this school's lifetime in a minute. Many of these players that we have as seniors, it's probably the last time they're going to play a football game. So they're leaving it all on the line here. I don't know, man. We might have just ran out of gas. We pretty much blew our lead in a quarter and a half of play. Woo! 1-0. Griffin. His final game. I mean, he's not going. He might go to the XFL. But for the senior. Come on, boys. It's overtime. I almost feel like we need to play this. I almost wonder if we win this. Do you think we could be ranked? Like, get ranked at the end of the year? I'm curious. Take off with the quarterback. Big time speed. Get in there. I don't know if we stopped them. I think that might have been the first score. Okay, so I think we got touchdown. They got touchdown. They kicked the field goal, so a touchdown will win it for Louisiana Monroe. Right down to the tight. Ooh, is that Peter Woods? They got some. Yeah, it is. They got some very mad 5 stars. Peter Woods, 2.5 sacks in this one. X. It's a little late. Oh, we got all those yards. 500 yards. 5 touchdowns from the true freshman. This is where the skill caps and all that stuff are a little bit like this was Madden. This guy would be getting dev traits. Got him. Right bumper. Get in. Louisiana Monroe has won the Birmingham Bowl over number 13 Clemson. The second ranked head that we have on our pedestal. We beat Nebraska earlier in the year. And yeah, you know what? Maybe Clemson wasn't trying their best. That game went to overtime. They sure looked like they were trying in the second half. 6 touchdowns from a true freshman quarterback. Normal dev. Limited skill cap. I don't care. You play like that, we're going to be able to upset. Play spoiler. against a bunch of teams. I don't know if we get to celebrate. That was actually good adjustment. That was not an accurate ball. It was behind the receiver, but that was an insane run. That's what you can do with a big-time athlete. God bless some of the athletes that get generated in the recruiting class, because they are truly ridiculous, especially when you get out in space. And we have officially accomplished the biggest upset in school history. 49-46 overtime thriller over Clemson. Texas A&M ends up winning the Natty. Good for them. I want to see our final season stats. 36 touchdowns, 4,000 yards through the air for Mick Roberts, who also threw in almost another 505 on the ground. A legitimate argument, man. The best freshman quarterback in, well, I say that, and then the Heisman Trophy winner was a freshman for Miami, but still very happy with it. White Lightning Galloway played well. We got 11 and 15 from Evans, 1,011 from Tyler Griffin, the senior. 7 and 3 from Wiley. Basley, they're, you know, I mean, not bad. All those numbers are really, really nice. Defensively, holy shit. 17.5 sacks by Billy Pullen. How did he not win an award? Goodsey, who was almost a lock to leave in the transfer portal, somehow, somewhere, we were able to convince him to come back. Leads the team with 4 picks. Billy Pullen comes number 4, top 5. Sounds maybe a little bit better for defensive player of the year in all of college football. Just lose out for linebacker of the year. So just some records that were broken. Kerry McRoberts as a freshman has broken the single season record for passing yards and passing touchdowns. And Steven Evans as a senior breaks the record for most receiving tuds in a year. And we have our first drafted player. That's cool. Godsey goes in the 7th round. We actually get late, the last day of the portal, our big get, Destin Hill, who's one of the top wide receivers from Florida State. I'm surprised he's only a 3-star, able to land him coming back home to Louisiana. Actually, a little bit surprised. Well, not necessarily surprised, because there's a math to it, but recruiting in YouTube fell just a little bit outside of the top 50. We're still in like the same area code, but I think now coming off a big bowl game win over Clemson, a Sun Belt championship, we went from a 1-star prestige school to a 2.5-star prestige school in one season. I think we're about to take a big step up in recruiting here in year 3. Let's see what kind of players we get in the portal. We got Davis, the corner, impact on Stamps, impact on Bush. A couple impacts across the board. Any stars? We get the star there on Destin Hill, who very well might be our wide receiver 1 next season. Star on Caleb Creed, 3-star gem. You love to see that. A couple impacts. Star dev on Tyree Sapp, who's going to be a off-ball linebacker for us. Star dev on Esponda, safety. We got star dev on Humphrey, safety. Impact. I mean, we did get a lot more gems this year than we did in year 1, and a lot of these gems are yielding better dev traits. Josh Chavis, the JUCO transfer, has a star dev. Hubbard, impact, and Wooten with an impact. Overall, pretty good class. Probably better than last year's with the dev traits. For trade camp, great development of Nick Roberts, goes up +6. 76 to an 82. Offensive line got a lot better as well, and White Lightning in the backfield as a senior Galloway up to an 87. So as expected, as we start recruiting here in year number 3, we do have a couple chances at some 4 stars for the first time. We got 3 wide receivers here. Remigio, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name there, but and these guys, by the way, are kind of fitting what we need here, as Remigio, 97 speed, 96 acceleration. Tui Halamaka, let's go with that, 6'5", with 94 speed, 94 jumping, looks like an absolute beast. We have Bulaga, who is a gem at 6'2", with 96 speed. We got Benny Blanco, the gem 4-star tight end, who looks like a great athlete as well, 6'5", with 86 acceleration, 87 speed, 83 catching. Got a couple gems there. We got Addison, who I think is likely going to be a center, could be a D tackle, but has 3 abilities. He's a 4-star as well. Not gonna lie though, I thought we might get a little more than what we did, but it's all kind of baby steps. We get our first 4-star recruit ever, Larry Bulaga, out of Neptune Beach, Florida. Let's go. The downside of that is, lost Blanco. Damn it. Bring home another 4-star, Tui Halamaka, out of Michigan. That's a Michigan name. That doesn't even load. We are 5-1. Our 1 loss won't even show. Came against FCS. We get the last 4-star to drop here in Julius Addison. It's going to be a light class, I think. I don't think we're going to go too crazy. I don't need to add a bunch of low 3 stars just to pad our numbers up. I want quality over quantity, and Addison gives us 3 4s on the year. The good news here in year 3 is we had a nice season. We went 9-3, and we're definitely going to be playing in a bowl game. The bad news, as we chase our 3 Sun Belt championships to get promoted to the SEC, a tiebreaker separates us and South Alabama from featuring in the championship game. So we're on the outside looking in, unfortunately, this year. And if you're wondering what the tiebreaker is, we lost. Very close one after a very slow start against South Alabama, 28-26. So we can't really complain about it being excluded from the game. And our bowl game is against UTEP in the Bahamas Bowl. Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Hey, if we're not going to play in the conference championship, at least a bowl win lets us finish the season with some momentum on the back of back-to-back 10-win seasons here for UL-Monroe. Finished the season 10-3, and we put up a great offensive showing here in the bowl game, 39-21. In a matchup, it must have been all done on the ground. What do we got? The hat trick from Bennett Galloway, White Lightning. McRoberts gives us 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. What do we got defensively? Couple guys stepping up here. Smalls, Bush, Reeves, McAllister, and Monette. A lot of sacks. We got 2 turnovers in the secondary. Complimentary football. Looking at the end of season recap, McRoberts, little bit down from where he was as a true freshman statistically. 3,600 yards, 29 touchdowns. We had a 30 bomb last season. Pretty decent rushing numbers, though, with a 9 rushing touchdown. All right, yeah, you know, that'll do it. That'll bring you up. Or you feel happy with it. Galloway, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns as he finishes his career out there. Might be going to the league. Tristan Wiley, just under 1,000 yards with 7 touchdowns. Destin Hill, the transfer from Florida State, had a solid season. Same with Steven Evans, even though he regressed a little bit last year, but he kind of fell down the pecking order of the receivers. We definitely did not have anywhere near the sacks we had last season. It's 17.5 for the outside linebacker, but the freshman BJ Smalls gets 6.5, which is nice, especially for a pass cover linebacker, kind of bringing him on the blitz. Leonard Skinnert himself, Leonard Harris, the senior, led the team with 4 picks. But again, I also feel like interception numbers are down. We did not play as good defensively this year as we did last year. Not too sure what the difference was. Feel like we got better. Nice. Galloway goes in the first 3. He was projected to go in the 6th. Ends up dominating. I mean, he's a big-time athlete, so he probably tested out at the combine. Oh! Check mark! We are ranked! We have finished the 24th ranked team in the nation after the bowl win. Let's go. Big check mark there. 2nd of 5 challenges complete. And Shadow White Lightning Galloway improving his draft stock at the combine, going in the first 3 rounds. So our recruit class, we're back into the top 50 with our best recruiting class yet. Finishing in 42 helps that we now are finally getting into the area code of landing a couple 4 stars. I want to try to trump that again. We got 3 this year. Let's see if we can double that here in year 4. And look at the work we did, man. We got some really good 3 stars from the transfer portal. Regardless of dev trend, we got Heggie, the freshman, with a star dev. We did fully scout some of these wide receivers up there. Goodwin at D tackle, the freshman transfer from Tennessee, with a star dev. We got Eric McDonald at wide receiver, only an impact, but look, as a freshman, so he's going to be a sophomore. He already has 91 short route running, 80x spectacular catch. Not the fastest guy. We have Ezzy, who has a star dev. He is going to be a sophomore, 6'3", with 96 speed, 95 jumping, all 80s for his catching. Henry's another big one, the sophomore, only an impact, but he has 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 91 catching, 96 agility, just disgusting out in space. Look at this, Kamani Alexander, only a normal dev, but as soon as I scouted him, I saw 90 plus speed, 99 in ball carrier vision. So he's going to be a guy that we can expect to make a couple plays. I kind of wish we scouted Marvin here. Quarterback, don't really know what we're getting. I was more so just seeing if we can get a good dev trait, and it's unfortunately only in impact. Damn, a couple of my gems here in the 3 stars not popping up, but Okanlawan, maybe, sure. The 3-star gem D tackle with Louisiana with a star dev. You'll love to see that. Couple normals. Larry Bulaga, the first 4-star we've landed in school history, is a star dev at wide receiver. He's going to be a big time, likely a day 1 starter. Damn, only a normal on the man with the Tui Halamaka. Had a really nice training camp. You could really see the state of our roster from where it was when we started. We had what, 3 guys over an 80. Now most of our key stars, especially on that offense, and we're balanced. I was gonna say our offense is kind of top. No, we're 86s across the board. McRoberts up to an 86 overall. He had a good training camp. Basley, the converted wide receiver, is thriving. Look at that speed that he's bringing to the backfield. Chapman, who had the star dev, and a good mix too of recruiting and finds in the transfer portal. That's the way to do it, especially with a smaller program. I will say though, coming off a 10-3 season where we got ranked, our school did not increase any prestige. I thought we would have had a good shot to be 3 stars going into year 4, but we're 2.5. So late in year number 4, and we are 16th in the nation, 9-1, undefeated in Sun Belt play, coming off a huge win over South Alabama. Also have a quality win over an SEC opponent, beating Arkansas in a shootout 34-32 earlier in the year. And another high-scoring affair over South Alabama, who beat us last year, and really that was the deciding factor for us not featuring in the Sun Belt Championship. So it feels good to exercise those demons a little bit. Our one loss on the season came against then-ranked SMU 42-21. Weren't really up to that one. More so it was on the defensive side. Had some turnovers from McRoberts. But, you know, it just goes to show just how freaking difficult it is to go for an undefeated season, even in a smaller conference. There you go again. We just slipped up against 5-5 Texas State, falling to 9-2 and losing our ranking. I repeat, Texas State was 5-5. What? Oh my God, what? Luckily, we're able to bounce back against a very good Troy team, and we are back in the Sun Belt Championship against Old Dominion. Troy was 8-4, 8-win team, bowl eligible team, and it's a quality win, 21-18. Wasn't super stoked about how we finished that one, almost allowing them to come back in the 4th quarter. But man, Rick Roberts, huh? He is hot and cold. When he's hot, he's hot. When he's cold, he's barely a competent quarterback. Ooh, Sun Belt Championship, true freshman. The 4-star elite Larry Bulaga goes off. No, that means good things happen. In an overtime thriller, Monroe 38-36 over Old Dominion. And I told you, look, McRoberts literally had like barely 100 yards and a touchdown in a gotta have it game. And then in the bowl game, he's like, I'm just gonna go 350 and 4. No worries about it. Bulaga, a true freshman. That's a great 1-2 punch they got going there. Great chemistry. Defensively, we got some pressure. McAllister's had a hell of a year. I'm interested. I bet you he got double-digit sacks for the sophomore. No turnovers there, but we finished ranked, and we're gonna have probably a pretty decent bowl game. And it's our 2nd Sun Belt Championship, which means one more, and we get promoted to the SEC. Also, the first time we won the Sun Belt Championship in year 2, it was over Old Dominion again. Just for what it's worth, Miami has 3 straight Heisman winners. Their wide receiver won it last year. DeMarcado won it as a true freshman 2 years ago. Wins it again as a junior. 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, man. Miami's cooking. What? We're in the playoff? You get a bid by winning the Sun Belt? There's no way that's true because we won the Sun Belt and didn't go to the playoffs. But let's get front row. See if we can shock the world. Biggest upset in playoff history if we can beat the Gators. All right, no, nothing crazy. Let's just see here. Sim right to the end of the game. Oh, I didn't know actually simming to the end gives us the ticker. So maybe we'll do that in future episodes. We know. Let's just hang with them. They're the number 2 team in the nation. I think if we, as long as it's not embarrassing, we can hold our head high. It's all good. I'd like to give me a little bit more points here. There we go, making a 10-point deficit in the 4th quarter. Respectable. That's a quality loss for Monroe, as we're the 12th team. So what, our ranking was all weird. I swear to God it said 20th before we came into this one. I mean, either way, that's way too ahead of schedule. Hey, you know what, gives us a little taste of SEC football. Shows how much further we need to go as a program to be competitive once we likely get this promotion over the next year or 2 by winning our 3rd Sun Belt. Looking at our final end of season stats, McRoberts 4,100 yards, 40 touchdowns, 8 picks, and that is still like, obviously we had playoff game, but had a couple weeks too where he had just 100 yards, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, no touchdowns, 2-3 picks. That's still a hell of a stat, and if we can get consistent, maybe sky's the limit for where you can take this program. Still, I mean, not crazy running game. I think overall, I mean, every time we talk about this, I think it's a general issue with the sim right now. College football 25. Hardy, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. The true freshman 4-star star dev. Bulaga, 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. Henry was solid. I mean, I'm happy with all those numbers. Defensively, look at that. McAllister, the sophomore, 57 tackles, 11 TFLs, 17 sacks. That is real nice. Where's the hardware, though? That's good. That should be good enough for an award. Just, I just see where we're at. McRoberts, top 10 for quarterback of the year. And easily, I mean, when you're looking at the established schools here, the outlier. Slade McAllister, runner-up for defensive player of the year as a sophomore. Seeing a lot of seniors, a lot of older players. So make the argument, maybe the best young pass rusher in all of college football. Because it's still kind of rare. We sent another player to the NFL, Jaden Chapman. We landed in the transfer portal as a star dev sophomore. Appreciate everything. He's been a good left tackle for us. We finished year 4 with a top 30 recruiting class. And I said I wanted to double our 4 stars from year 3 to year 4, and we did exactly that. It's not always just a numbers game. It's about the quality that you land. And let's see. Oh, man, a lot of 3-star normals in the transfer portal, which is pretty disappointing. We get Shaq Troop, the freshman star dev running back, which I like to see. Impact, star dev on Letke, the running back. So we get a couple of nice running backs coming in. Marquise Parker was our big get in the transfer portal. The junior is a 4-star. Only an impact dev, not the best. Oh, there we go. Our first elite. Terrence Robertson, projected to be a center, but sometimes when you get these center athletes, they can also be defensive tackles. So that'll be something we definitely pay attention to. But there we go. Our first elite. Took us 4 freaking years to get one. 4-star Geist normal, and he's not a bust. That is a bad roll. Impact normal. Oh my God, not normal. Disgusting. I mean, Higgins is a gem with an impact. 98 speed at 6'3" is nice. Those are way too many non-busts coming with no dev traits. But shout out to Robertson. Got to probably get him playing right away as a true freshman. Yeah, I'm incredibly disappointed. Coming out of training camp, our final training camp for Kerry McRoberts. He was an 86 last year, and he's an 86 this year. I mean, you know what, though? We knew what he was. Got him as a normal dev. Limited skill caps. And that is the nature of the game. McAllister, growing development, maybe the best young pass rusher in all of college football. Happy to have him on the roster. We have our 2 first 90-plus players. Bush at linebacker is a junior, so still might have a chance to get even better. And the transfer center there, Zandamela. We're slowly going to burn our way through year 5, and Slade McAllister reminding everyone that, yeah, maybe Louisiana-Monroe has the best defensive player in all of college football. We're 5-0. Easier stretch, harder games at the back end of the schedule. We're winning the games that are in front of us. That's all you can do. Bad news on the recruiting front is that there are more 4-stars, but the belle of the ball that I thought, Jarius Maggio, the quarterback, 4-star with a gem, 94 throw power, real good across the board, and we just lost out to Arkansas, which is a little brutal. The good news, I don't want to say necessarily it's good news, but there still is a couple 4-stars at quarterback that, yeah, we might be able to pivot towards. And we have both these guys scouted. Bajama, the scrambler of Arlington, Texas, 92 throw power, decent speed. Ooh. All right. This might be our guy. So another big-time performance here from Kerry McRoberts. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Let's see where we're at here now going into week 10. We are number 5 in the nation. I will say that it's not an authentic 5. We've beat up on some pretty bad teams here in the Sun Belt. But I think we're really going to be looking in on this Notre Dame game to see how legit we are. First-ranked opponent. I mean, we've been pumping. 78 against Texas State, 54 against Louisiana, 57 against Georgia Southern. Got Arkansas, we got Troy kind of sandwiched on the outside, but Notre Dame, I think that's going to be the measuring stick of where we're at. Here we go. We had to pivot, and it might not be been a ridiculous quarterback, but we're still able to land a 4-star during this year 5 process. And, you know, maybe the stats aren't S tier, but, you know, all it takes is a star to elite dev trait, and we're going to feel a lot better about Baima. I swear to God, like, it's like any time in a rebuild, especially like if we're picking the pace up just a little bit, especially in a rebuild like this with Monroe, where, you know, we're probably going almost the full 10 seasons. I I highlight the records and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, and then we'll lose. Like, oh yeah, we should win Notre Dame. We'll see what happens. Like, oh no, actually we'll trip up before the Notre Dame game and freaking lose to 5-4 Arkansas State to ruin our perfect season. We lose Arkansas State, we beat ranked Notre Dame. So we gain a little bit of that ground. No longer the number 5 team in the nation. But we're playing pretty good football. You got to remember McRoberts, one of the best dual threats in the nation. Bulaga, one of the best sophomores in the nation. And, you know, ugly professional win. And that's kind of what you need to do. And Sam Rees has a gigantic performance. 8 tackles, 2 TFLs, 3 sacks as we beat Troy and finish the season with 1 loss and the number 6 ranked team going into the Sun Belt Championship. We got JMU as we look for our 3rd Sun Belt Championship. Securing said 3rd will mean promotion to the SEC this offseason. Let's go. We got JMU. We'll play the moments. Like if we need to hop in, we will hop in. But as we have seen, we jump ahead here to the end of the game. We can always interject if need be. We can at least get the ticker. And Monroe starts 10-0. Gets out quickly. JMU scores, keep it competitive. Couple field goals from Monroe where you like to see touchdowns in a low-scoring defensive battle here in the first half. 16-7. We have that touchdown buffer. Insta score out the JMU field goal. I mean, this would be a crushing loss. There's no other way to put it. Knowing just what this impact will mean for the program, you know, we're going to be trying to, and we just did, get the check mark. That is our 3rd Sun Belt Championship, which means the only 2 things we have to do for this to go down as a successful rebuild is win the SEC and win a natty. And Louisiana Monroe has just gone from competing with Louisiana Tech, Louisiana. Now it's time with the big dogs. We're coming for the Tigers. Goddamn right, the senior Kerry McRoberts in the Sun Belt Championship Player of the Week. Almost 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Oh my God. What? Kerry McRoberts did not throw a touchdown all year. 4,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns, and Louisiana Monroe has a Heisman Trophy winner. What? We got the best. We knew this. Slade McAllister, goddamn cheat. He's only a junior. Hopefully he doesn't leave for the pros. 44 tackles, 13 TFLs, 18 sacks. Was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year last year. Gets it done. And our freshman kicker gets Kicker of the Year. That's all. Hey, you know what? We'll take it. But I got to see this season. 41-0. What? And what do we have rushing? Another 600 yards. So we finished with about 4,700 yards. 51 touchdowns. He has 0 fumbles, 0 interceptions. He is the perfect quarterback. We take that perfect quarterback and we get to avenge last year's college football playoff loss against the Florida Gators. So we got the Gators at 13-1. I think in the context of keeping things realistic, we'll just sim this one again. Even though it would be cool if we're giant killers. I think like the sense of realism here, we've achieved, and we're going to be getting promoted to the SEC. As it stands right now, we're that real good, dominant, kind of non-Power 5 program, and we're going on a playoff run. I feel like it's still a little too early for me to hop in and like make this our playoff run, like force the issue. I think organically, and we saw it 2 rebuilds ago, organically, if Monroe can go on a run, it makes it, I feel like it makes it that much more special this early on here in this rebuild. Cotton Bowl on the line. Let's see what we can do. I mean, this is the level of play that we're about to see. You know? How far away are we from competing with SEC programs, I guess, is about what we're going to find out. Because Florida is the cream of the crop when it comes to, and we're hanging with them. Down 10. Ooh, okay. Plenty of work needs to be done. Can we stop running into the Gators in the playoffs? Back-to-back years they've smashed us. The only downside is it was McRoberts' final game for ULM, and you know he did everything he could. 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, also led the team in rushing. He couldn't do it all, but absolute legend for the program, probably the best quarterback they've ever had. But at the end of the season, McRoberts, the Heisman Trophy winner, 44 touchdowns. Nope, I mean, we looked at the stats already. I mean, just an incredible season. One of the best sim seasons we have seen. Sophomore Bulaga, almost 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. He should hopefully be going nowhere. Definitely one of those guys. I'm looking at my roster at who should not really necessarily notice the difference in the jump up in competition. I think Bulaga dominant in the Sun Belt, and I think he'll be dominant in the SEC. Eze, our other wide receiver, he's still a sophomore, so still has plenty of football ahead of him. Defensively, got the big dogs. Hopefully McAllister, again, another one of those guys. Be interesting to see the jump up in level of competition. He's been dominant at a Sun Belt level. Will he still be dominant at an SEC level if he decides not to enter into the NFL draft? That will be interesting. Reeves had a nice season. Interception numbers not too shabby. Love seeing 3 picks from Etienne, the freshman. One of the record breakers, McRoberts, broke the single season. I believe that was his own record for passing yards in a year. Bulaga gets receiving yards in a season. McRoberts with touchdowns in a season. Bulaga with touchdown catches in a season. And for a career, Kerry McRoberts is now the all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Slade McAllister, hopefully that can continue. For sacks, 37 and counting. And I'm actually kind of surprised we didn't get any of the receiving numbers yet. I mean, Bulaga will return, and I imagine those records are going to be his inevitably. That's disrespectful. Not even draftable for the Heisman Trophy winner. Zandamela is the only player we send to the league this year, going in the 4th round. This has been annoying because I want to get Master Motivator, start getting some more XP, and it's taking us longer than expected with the roster that we've had to get our 5 players drafted to unlock it. So our final recruiting class from the Sun Belt is still top 50, which I definitely expect things to heat up a little bit more when we make the jump to the SEC. Look at the dev trades. You got a couple 2-star. Our transfer portal was trash. I got the best freshman 2-stars that look like they could be anything. We did get this 4-star out of Louisiana, Usuji. Ataya Asuji at strong safety. He's going to be a junior, so hopefully we get 2 years out of him with a start dev. That was a pretty good get. Looking into our actual recruiting class, we did do decent, getting some 4-stars here, which is always difficult as a Sun Belt team. Baima at quarterback, only an impact dev. I mean, he was a last-second pivot. Still not a brutal get for the program, as we're definitely going to have to find who our next quarterback's going to be to lead us into the SEC. I do wish we ended up with a quarterback with a better depth trait. We don't have a quarterback with a better depth trait than an impact on the roster right now. Sharp with an impact. Oh! Let's go. This is why I'm not, I'll be honest. I will sometimes be prejudiced against blocking tight ends when I see them interested in my program. I'll be like, I want vertical threat. I want possession. Who cares about blocking? And I said, screw it. This time here, we got a 4-star blocking tight end that was interested in the program, and that is an elite dev trait. Got a long ways to go as a receiver. I don't even think we see any receiving stats on him, but that's a hell of a prospect to land. And I will say, just kind of looking through the transfer portal, Suji's an 85 right out of the portal. What a get. Hey, coming out of training camp. McAllister's pretty close to his skill cap, so it wasn't a whole lot of room for the best freaking football player in all of college football. 89, we got Bush as a 90, but all eyes, the roster looked real good. We're entering the SEC as a 90 overall. We are going to be, in the weight class of the SEC, I could say. We're not going to come in and be like, oh, well, who's going to be worse, us or Vandy? No shots at Vandy, but you know what I'm saying? No, we're going to be able to hold our own. But the big question comes under center, and it might be Jose Marvin, the senior first-year starter that's going to have to lead us. 91 elusiveness, so he can move. His accuracy's not too bad. 90 throw pass about as, you want 90 plus, but 92 is not too shabby. Decent sneaky athleticism, as you would say. Probably not the quarterback that's gonna, we got Baima here, 75 as a freshman. I don't know if we have the quarterback on our roster that's going to help us get this, win the SEC, win a natty to kind of close off and clean up this challenge board. But You can do a lot worse. And there we go. Welcome to the SEC Warhawks. Let's just see. We're a 91 overall. Where does that rank? 10 points better than Vandy. We're better than Tennessee. Better than Texas. Better than Texas A&M. Better than South Carolina. Better than Ole Miss. Better than Oklahoma. Better than Mizzou. Tied with Georgia. Better than LSU. Better than Florida. I mean, let's go. Look at that SEC bump. Look at it. All we do is move from the Sun Belt to the SEC. And it's like, oh, here's 4 and 5 stars. We're going to throw them into your lap. Should have made this move. I mean, I'm not going to say we shouldn't have made it early. We should have achieved this move earlier. We should have been more clinical, won these Sun Belts quicker. And this is the kind of players we'll be trying to get. It's still, I mean, we only got 750 hours. And I say only. We had like 400 or whatever, at least one of the years that we started. But, I'll tell you right now, Lacey, number 2 player in the nation. We'll go for it. We'll try it. Ooh, and the first quarterback we even take a peek at. 4-star gem, Carlos Pelares. Could be interesting. We got another one in Devon Pryor. Ooh. 91, 91, 90. So we got more mobility, better accuracy. Which one? 93. I think I'm going to go Pryor. I think we'll focus on Pryor. So I'm going to go for quality over quantity here. I originally had 18 prospects. I'm going to shave it down to 12 because we need bona fide SEC recruits now. We don't need good Sun Belt recruits. We don't need low-end SEC that might play Sun Belt. We're joining the Sun Belt as, on paper, at worst, a top 5 team in the whole conference. We need to get the same caliber recruits. So we are going to swing for the fence. We have 2 5-stars. LaBelle at D-tackle and Lacey at corner. We're 8th and 10th. A lot of ground to make up. But we're, just breaking into the threshold of our house rules of having to be ranked by these players. Got a couple 4-star jet. I think this is going to be a good class. Get these 12 out of the way. Sucks that right now we still can't use like the meta, throw a bunch of hours and then just hard sell when you can because some of our grades still aren't ideal to really, maximize that method. But I think 12 is a good starting point here for what should end up being probably our best recruiting class as long as we can get 75, 85% of these players to land. I just want to quickly go through our roster just to put in perspective, like where we're at year 1 SEC program. We got 85 at quarterback, 80, look at the depth at running. Like this looks like an SEC program. This looks like a team that you would pass over if you're trying to pick a team for a college football 25 dynasty because they're too good. You can make the argument maybe our wide receiver core is not S tier, but we know Bulaga has some of the most production in all of college football returning, as he was 1,000 yards last year. I'm going to go with the freshman Higgins just because he has prolific speed and there's upside there, a little bit more upside than going with like a senior at this point. I'm going to go also with the elite dev blocking tight end, giving up some points there, but I'm going to gamble with the ceiling and where this is going to probably have him as a player, give him a little bit of head start in that development. But the O-line, like that would be in real life, if this situation ever happened, the biggest discrepancy would be the trenches. Going, even if the S-tier Sun Belt team going to the SEC, they're just not going to have the players we do. 87, 81, and the 81's a freshman trying to replace our only draft pick last year. We got 86 and 85. So that is one of the better offensive lines in the SEC. They are not going to be a revolving door. The D-line, we have arguably the best defensive player in college. We got Barry on the other side, 89, 86, 85. The linebacker core, we might have the best linebacking core in the SEC. Ordonez, 89, 90 for Bush, 86 for Tui Halamaka, who was, what was he, a quarterback or a running back when we recruited him as an athlete. We got 88 for Smalls, who's been really nice for an undersized pass rusher, kind of a hybrid player for us. And then in the secondary, 88, 84, 80. Those are all seniors. I am worried, I would say, next year about the depth of our secondary. That's why we're trying to chase after that 5-star corner. Potentially lead the room. We got Osuji in the transfer portal. He's a starter at 86. And Humphreys, 89. So, I'm expecting a good record. I'm not expecting like, first year in the SEC, there's going to be some growing back. No, I'm expecting to be competitive and to challenge to win the SEC and win the Natty from here on out. There's no growing pains. There's no grace period. Let's hit the ground running. Our schedule's not too brutal. We start with some Sunbelt games. We got James Madison, San Jose State, Southern Miss, and then our first foray into SEC competition. We got at Tennessee, at A&M, at Mississippi State, at Vandy, at Mizzou. 5 straight road games. That's going to be tough. I'm not expecting to go undefeated there. I'd like to see us hang for sure. Then we got Arkansas State, Kentucky. We get the rematch over Florida, who's knocked us out of the playoffs in back-to-back years. And we finish up with the Battle of Louisiana. I mean, the team that's probably the most pissed that we made this jump. Now they're worried. Are we still going to be the top dogs here? We have competition for the state of Louisiana. So it's going to be a good year. I'm thinking, I just want to say very competitive. I think we're going to be very competitive. I'm not going to throw a record out there. But we need for sure shit to beat these non-SEC teams. Oh, we got a first 5-star LaBelle. This is week 3. We're getting these names to sign on the dotted line. And I'll say like right now, the hard sell strategy, not brutal. There's a couple players that we have like D's and F's, reds, and we're not going to be able to use that method. And that is disgusting there potentially. That gives the players risk of transfer. They're seniors anyway, aren't they? But things look good. We're only second on Vaughn. Everyone else that we showed from the initial preseason recruiting, we are first. We get Pryor, who might need to be the future at quarterback. We get Trapp, the 4-star running back, to sign on. I will say, I'm a little concerned about Brian Lace. It's a big get. This is definitely one of the big players. I mean, obviously, he's the number 2 player in the nation. But we can't hard sell him because we have academic prestige. Try to sway. I mean, we got the hours to do it. Maybe let's do that. We'll say a little annoying. We lose our first game in the SEC against an SEC team with no points being scored in the second half. That's bizarre. Damn it. Dust is kind of settled here in our first year at the SEC. We're meeting the big bag dogs at the end of the schedule. Florida has had our number this entire rebuild. Can we finally beat the Gators? We are certainly in contention right now for the SEC championship. 4-2 in the conference. Losses to Tennessee. Oh, nice. We get a late 4-star tight end to commit. Oh, we beat them. 30-16. We almost choked and we tried our hardest. But man, oh man, we got 3 interceptions on Bassanes, who's, how is that still the best they have at quarterback? 78 overall is beyond me. But Marvin, the first-year star, the senior, using his experience. Wasn't a crazy game, didn't go nuclear by any means. But the defense shows up. German, Smalls, McAllister continues to be an absolute beast. The senior Manny Cantrell, 2 interceptions on the day. Osuji, we got in the portal with a pick, and that is the biggest win in regular season Monroe history. Finish the season with a win over LSU to finish 3rd. Didn't think a win over LSU would knock us down the polls a little bit, but you know what? Anytime there's 1 loss teams ahead of a 2-loss team, I'm not going to be too upset. However, how are we on the outside? No SEC championship, huh? Is there a way to see like the tiebreakers in here? Because we didn't play any of those teams. We did not play Arkansas or Alabama. We won 6 in a row. We're clearly the better team. Brutal. But I'll say this. No SEC championship. At least we get a nice role in the college football playoff. It's not the Gators. Very winnable, and we're going to be big favorites against Marshall. I think we hop in here a little bit. Been a minute. Now we're favorites. We're on the other side. We're the big dogs. Let's handle business here against Marshall, and what needs to be, you gotta have it. Take some shots here. Where's Bulaga? X. And by the play action, which they do, he gets a step, and we sail it. And that is how you start a gotta have it big dog favorite type game. You go to your best wide receiver, you slam dunk on him. Keep running behind the left-hand side of the O-line. That's a star talent. That's where we have the advantage. Chisholm has great speed, converted quarterback. See it, Higgins. We got the freshman in the slot. He wants it. Oh, that's a... That was a needless 50-50 ball. Needless. There we go. I don't even know how he came out of that one. It's Bulaga. He came out of that one because he's the best wide receiver in the country. And he gets tackled at the 1. What? Get in there. Good blocking. We gain the lead going into half. Ooh, maybe a little bit more. We get a chance. He's on the 1. Again at the 1. 2 plays. But it's... Oh, we have no timeouts. Chance for a 2-1. Come on, quick. Here we go. 2 for 1. There we go. You know, sometimes you need Marshall to tackle you into their own end zone. Still counts. Still 6. Able to handle business. 31-16. Got ugly. Wasn't nearly as flashy as maybe would have expected to be, but a win's a win. And I'm very happy that it only took us 6 years, which I think is a realistic amount of time for UL-Monroe to get their first playoff win. So we just got the God roll of playoff. Bowling Green in the quarterfinal, huh? I'd like to think that we could beat Bowling Green. 12-2 we did. Let's go. And then we get Penn State, the team that last week in real life, Bowling Green almost beat in the semifinal. #1 team in the nation in the Rose Bowl. And it was a professional win over Bowling Green, 17-10. 2 schools that were pretty much in this, like, look at us. Who would have thought, huh? Looking at it, I mean, we just played balanced football, and I'm terrified, man, that Bulaga is going to leave. How do we have D in playing style? With the pick there from ETN. How do we have... It's one of those, for what it's worth, they're an 89 overall, we're a 90 overall. So we are slightly better than the #1 team in the nation. Let's see how it plays out. Can the Cinderella run continue? And I don't think it's fair to our team to say Cinderella run, I guess. But it still technically is. Very low scoring game. Nothing but field goals. First touchdown goes to Monroe. They score as soon as we score our first touchdown. They get, what, 2 right away? This is an ugly game. And I'm not going to lie. We're probably not going to win an ugly game. Yes! 27-23. We are in the... Couldn't get in the goddamn SEC championship. But UL-Monroe, year 6, is going to play for a national championship. Jose Marvin, the senior, first-year starter, plays out of his mind. That is incredible for the fellas. Look at that. And I'm not gonna lie. Tried our hardest to screw us up. 3 interceptions. They didn't have 1 pick. We had 3 interceptions and still found a way to win. I mean, Marvin did it all. Higgins. I'm glad that Bulaga, because he's leaning towards transferring, we show that we can win without him. That's gonna be a tough loss. Defensively, though, man, this defense is something else. 4 TFLs from German. Second half, Addison. Smalls get after it. Quite a couple games for McAllister here. Maybe the best football player in the nation. We're going to the Natty. Quincy Germain gets the defensive player of the week. But let's see, who are we playing in the finals? Is it winnable? Is it not winnable? Shout out Higgins, the freshman. Again, another guy needs to step up. Especially if Bulaga leaves in the portal, doesn't declare. And we got USC in the national championship. Now, for what this is worth, USC 87 overall. UL-Monroe 91 overall. So we're breaking out the best jerseys in college football. We're the dogs, but we know we have more talent than them. And we know it's time for the Warhawks to be national freaking champions. And we upset USC I think the uglier we can keep this game, the better it's going to be. You got a 17, 24, 31 to 7, 38-7 lead. This is going to be an absolute meme if we cannot see this one out. Literally just run the football. Get me in here. I want to play at least one offensive drive. I got to get in on this. We just saw Sim. This team is good enough. Now let's stunt on them a little bit. Everyone knows USC fraudulent defense. Higgins might be our new wide receiver 1 next season in the slot. Fit that over the line back. Come on. Let me at least get 1 touchdown. We get this to Bulaga, the soon-to-be trader. Hit him on a slant cheese. And drop almost a 60 bomb. In the national championship game. Oh, wow. We let them get a garbage touchdown. Took us, I mean, I wish we had a chance to win the SEC championship, so this would be the end of the rebuild and a fairy tale ending. Well, we got to come back next year to try to win that SEC title. But national champions. Now, I don't want to hear anybody bring up that we had to play Marshall and Bowling Green in the first 2 rounds, all right? Because we're freaking Louisiana-Monroe. A bottom 10 team in college football 25. And in 6 seasons, trying to recruit against the LSUs of the world, we've been able to build this program into a national champion. Jose Marvin, I got one of those. So he got pretty much 400 yards, 6 touchdowns with the determination of this team. With Douglas Peterson as the head coach. I wish we could have ran a Philly, to be honest with you, at some point. Wish that play was in the game, but soak that in. We've taken over cupcake schools, but nothing like this. We've never had the turnaround. We've never built the team that is as strong as this Louisiana-Monroe program. 7 touchdowns from the first-year starting senior Jose Marvin. 115 on the ground for Chisholm, who's recruited as a quarterback. 198, almost 200 yards, 2 touchdowns from the freshman Eric Higgins. Hopefully this is enough for Bulaga to come back, want to run it back. As he went off, Radigan, the senior, closes his career off with 2 touchdowns. The elite dev blocking tight end freshman, Mac Christopher, which is a ridiculous name. He gets on the board. 4 interceptions. Cantrell, Osuji, DeVito, and Humphreys all getting on the scoreboard. And German, who was player of the week last week, continues his strong campaign with a TFL and a sack. What a win. I mean, it might need to be said, is this the greatest national championship performance of all time out of a quarterback? So we closed out the season. I mean, where was he, Marvin? Where was his regular season stats at? He had 31 passing touchdowns going into the Natty. We had a full play. He must have had like 25 touchdowns in the regular season. And then he just went nuclear. He Nick Foles did. This is Doug Peterson, Nick Foles, done quarterback-wise. Just got hot at the right time and was unstoppable, putting up all-time performances. I kind of love that. We got 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns for Chisholm. No receiver really went off too crazy this year. Defensively, we got 11.5 sacks from McAllister. Just continues to add to an insane career. 4 picks, Cantrell, 4 for Asuji. And I had to confirm it, man. Look at that. Most sacks in a college football career. All time. Slade McAllister with 49. Would have been cool to get the big 50. And he was cold. I don't think he got a single sack this playoff run. But for what it's worth, it is the end of Larry Bulaga, and he does hit the transfer portal. He does finish his time here with UL-Monroe as the most receiving yards in a career. Slade McAllister with the 49 sacks. You love to see it. Bulaga also with touchdown catches. I almost hope it's just not ugly and he declares. And we let him declare. But proud of these guys. All right, absolutely brutal. How our 2 wide receivers that have upside are planning on leaving. Higgins is gone, and Bulaga, the all-time, yes, low persuasion chance. I knew he wouldn't leave. Looking at our draft, hey, we sent some guys to the league this year. I love seeing Marvin get drafted. I love that. Bush gets drafted, Cantrell, and Chavis. Here I was thinking, like, all right, let's go to the portal. We're the defending national champions. We're gonna have an insane portal. What is this shit? We got 1 guy that looks legit. Unreal. Luckily, there's only 1, but we were able to get the big fish of the transfer portal, the 4-star Gemez. And again, I wasn't even trying to chase a top recruiting list. I wanted quality over quantity, and quantity is really what you need if you're trying to chase the class. We got 1 5-star, 9 4-stars. That's all I need. Looking at the dev traits, Gemez, who we get in the portal, only impact. We got star dev on the tight end, Fernandez. Star dev on the 4-star GMD tackle, Shields. Elite dev on Earl Trapp out of the backfield. 91 speed, 91 acceleration. Shifty player. Love to see that. Star dev on Huckabee at tackle. Impact on Winogo. Quarterback Tavon Pryor gets a star dev. That is the best dev trait we've rolled on a quarterback this rebuild. And LaBelle, the 5-star, only impact. Womp womp. I'm very curious about our turning results because we got to go win the SEC, which, let's be honest, in terms of all the conferences, probably the hardest thing to do outside of winning the national championship. And we have a very good roster. We've been able to maintain and have elite playmakers, but the question remains at quarterback. Can we win the SEC with a sub 80 overall quarterback? It's gonna be tough. I feel like we're gonna lose a lot of close games, but you never know. Things don't go our way. I feel pretty decent with the quarterbacks that are interested in our team right now. So as we start year 7, the team is stacked. We won the best kickers in the nation, who's already won kicker of the year. We got 90, 89. Maybe not as much depth as I'd love to see in the secondary, but still not a bad corner room. 86, 90, 85, 88 at linebacker. A lot of these guys too, part of the returning. D-line might not have an absolute game changer anymore, but we got a lot of depth, and we're headlined by Jadarius Berry. The pass rusher had 10 sacks last year. We got 85, 88, 87, 88, and 89 across the offensive line, giving us one of the best offensive lines, if not the best, in the nation. Now, didn't get quite the development out of McChristopher. We let start last year as a 74 with an elite dev up to a 77. But, solid tight end room. Getting Bulaga to return, the all-time leader in pretty much everything receiving at Monroe, is huge. We got Ezzy there. We got the freshman Boozer. Looks like he's going to be an absolute stud. I like our wide receiver room. Our run game, we have Troop. Good speedster. Can break ankles like nobody's business with that 96 agility. I think we have that's a capable SEC running back. But the big question mark is this year, we're all in. Win the SEC championship. This goes down as a successful rebuild. Who do you play? I look at it, Baima, maybe a little bit more athleticism on the freshman Tavon Pryor. Does have the better dev trait, but the fact that we're going to be all in on a 5-star quarterback, I almost feel like we put our eggs in that basket if we're looking at long-term in case this year doesn't end out the way we want it to. Slight edge, throw power-wise to Pryor. Accuracy the same, mid-accuracy to Pryor. Deep accuracy about the same. Big-time throw on the run advantage to Baima. Throw under pressure to Baima. Break sack on Baima. +10 on play action. You know, you look at them as ball carriers, advantaged by Ema. So I think we go with the player that was here and learned and got that championship experience. But I am pretty worried about our quarterback this year. And there we go. We get a 5-star Roy Diedrich at wide receiver. It's a good start. Ooh, 5-star corner George Saylor ends up committing. Getting a lot in the secondary done, but we still have a couple 5-stars withstanding. No, we lose the tackle to Oklahoma. Damn it. There's the big get we were hoping for. That's the insurance. I mean, there's also a chance that he's 5-star impact dev and not that great, but things don't go our way this year in relation to the SEC championship. There's optimism that we got a ringer coming in for year 8. And we get 5-star safety Childress bringing it home. It's a hell of a week for recruiting. So we're undefeated, 5-0, 2-0 in the SEC. We should be able to handle, A&M and Mississippi State. Who'd have thought Vandy would be ranked right now? Number 7, Vandy. We have Kentucky at number 4. Florida, LSU to kind of wrap things up. I mean, Florida's on a down year. LSU's on a down year. I mean, when you're competing against Vandy, you gotta like your odds. Holy shit. Look at this game from Ezzy, the slot wide receiver. 9 catches, almost 200 yards, 5 touchdowns. All right, we got our first big test in the SEC. Number 5 ranked Vandy. Let's see. Oh, that's a dub. 2100. You don't get 2100 XP for an L. We'll get the dub. 34-16. Wasn't even particularly close. Baima is getting the job done. Really, the last, I'm not gonna say the last big hurdle. We could always slip up against Florida or LSU, but we have ranked Kentucky at 7-2. I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally fine getting, let's put it up here. I'm totally fine getting the SEC this year, but I put a lot of work into this recruiting class. I kind of almost want, there's a silver lining as we sweep the perceived hard gauntlet, and we're 10-0, 6. I mean, at worst, I feel like even if we choke the last 2 games, Florida, LSU, we should be in the SEC championship and give us a shot. But staring down the barrel of an undefeated season, we win ugly. 21-15 over Kentucky. Wasn't our greatest game, but look at that. Defensively holding only 70 yards passing. We didn't play, you know, the best game. 2 turnovers from our quarterback. But I really think the difference maker for this rebuild, even though we did win the national championship with a quarterback throwing 7 touchdowns, our defense in the sim has consistently helped us win these ugly games, which is not always the case. Florida, huh? It's so hard to get an undefeated season in this game if you're not playing every game. Even if you are playing every game, I don't know if you can get it. So we are second in we got to win. Auburn is undefeated. We have LSU 6-5. But Florida would have the tiebreaker over us if we can't get to 7 wins. Come on. At least give me the chance. I'm happy. I'm excited about next year's recruiting class, but just give me a chance. Don't be 10-2. Be 11-1. Let's go. Would have loved the undefeated season, but we got maybe the best team in football waiting us in the SEC championship, the undefeated Auburn Tigers. But we just said, you know how hard it is to go undefeated? That's what Auburn's thinking. This matchup here, very similar to the USC national championship. We're 91, they're 87. We are the better team on paper. But throughout the season, Auburn undefeated, staring down an undefeated season. They don't got Cam Newton. I always feel like you need Cam Newton, Bo Jackson. Trying to think who else they've had that's great. Nick Fairley. You need all those guys to stand a chance. Auburn does score first. You got to remember, man, I'm not over the moon about our quarterback, but he's been a gamer this season. But I think our defense needs to keep it ugly. I don't think we're going to win a shootout. We're down 1 into the second half, and our defense is doing their job. But we've had far too many drives in their red zone that we've got no points. 19-14. No. No. Tell you what. We're going to make the SEC championship next year. I'm going to fucking play with that 5-star freshman, and we're going to kick the shit whoever waits for us. We still did enough as the defending champion to make the college football playoff. We got NC State, number 9 team in the nation. And I know everyone in this building's a little upset right now, but we can refocus, go on a little bit of a playoff run, carry that momentum into next year. I think all is going to be right in the world. Next round, we got number 2, Iowa State. But before the Iowa State, to appreciate how we got there, NC State shootout, 35-33 overtime win. And again, man, we're just, it's, you know, it always comes down to the quarterback. We just don't have, you know, I don't see a 7-touchdown performance coming out of this guy when we need it. But down goes number 2, Iowa State. What? We get the U in the semifinal. Look at this run. Ignore the Florida loss. And maybe Florida finished ranked, so it's not as brutal of a loss. We got Iowa State 31-28. Quarterback, he's, you know, starting to pick it up here. I mean, we can run the ball. Bulaga has an outstanding performance. I mean, this is an all-time type receiver, and this is his final run, and he's going to help carry this team as far as he can go. We just messed around and got back to the national championship game. It's Miami, a standout performance from Jadarius Berry, the best pass rush on the team with a sack in TFL. We are in the Natty against who else? 15-0, undefeated Auburn Tigers. We are the chance at ruining their history. They ruined us winning the SEC championship. We can ruin their history. We have the pedigree. We are the defending national champions trying to invoke a dynasty. Let's keep it ugly. Even though we're trying to do this with an average sophomore starting quarterback. But the rest of the team, the O-line, the defense is great. We go into halftime down 3. Auburn scores to start off the second half. A couple quick scores. It's a 1-score game. Let's go, baby. Let them get the undefeated. God damn it! Auburn goes 16-0. Auburn! Auburn sucks! We'll be back. We got something cooking. We got the best high school quarterback coming here next year. We'll be fine. We'll bounce back. Statistically this season, I mean, Bahima, there's good and bad. The good offensively, honestly, put up better numbers than our quarterback last year did. Just way too many turnovers. Did not protect the football. Trumpet running back was solid. Boozer, Ezzy, Bulaga continues just to pad his stats. Almost another 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Defensively, 16 sacks from Jadarius Berry. You love seeing that. Interception numbers kind of crazy. 5 and 6, and that should be returning next year. That's disrespectful. Bulaga is not even projected to get drafted. What? Berry's projected to go in the first round. That'll be our first rounder, I think. There we go. Berry goes in the first round. Otsuji, the transfer, second. Humphreys in the third. Ezzy, Tui Halamaka, and Hubbard kind of round it out, but it's a vengeance tour now. Year 8, show no mercy. Holy shit. I thought we had a good class. Oklahoma has one of the... They're watching YouTube tutorials. You're getting 10 5-stars, 23 4s. Disgusting. Looking at what I hope is an SEC championship winning class. We get Knauch, the D-tackle with an elite dev in the portal, which you love to see. Elite dev on Uzuma in the portal. Linebacker could be a day 1 starter. Stout, the corner with a star. Elite dev on Bruce Olson, the 4-star. Impact on Sadeo. Elite dev on Afrani Vernon, the pass cover linebacker. Impact. Star dev on Goldwire, the running back. Now into our 5-stars. Sailor with a star. I'll take star. Star minimum. Impact 5s are like a slap in the face. Star on Diedrich. Top 20 player in the nation. 5'10 wide receiver. 98 speed, 95 acceleration, 94 agility. Could be a day 1 starter for us, especially with the, you know, the amount of talent we just lost out of the wide receiver room. Childress, the safety, the number 3 player in the nation. Elite dev trait. 6'1", 200 pounds, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 84 zone coverage. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. Let's go. Elite dev. Tanner Sherrill, 93 throw power, 88 short accuracy, everything else in the 80s, 93 speed, 9. There we go. We're going to win the Natty next year with this guy. We're unreal player. He's going to be a 79 overall quarterback. We could just make him he's quarterback. Here's our squad going into year 8. If we had to lose this rebuild because we can't win an SEC title, We really know it. This team is great. We got 280s in the special teams. Maybe one of the best special teams in the nation. 84 and 80 at safety. Not the strongest we've had, honestly. Just in case we don't win, we'll go with the freshman, Childress, the 5-star. Secondary is great. ETN, bunch of picks last year returns. Nesbitt, bunch of picks last year returns. So we got a legitimate ball-hawking secondary. We'll give the freshman as well a little bit of playing time. Linebacker core, 86, 89, 85, and Trap is a beast. 95 overall speed rusher. He has a chance to bring home a lot of hardware. D-line, not necessarily as strong as it's been in years past. I've honestly had to shuffle around some of my undersized defensive tackles just to kind of make the best fit. And we probably would have a better front if we were in a 3-4 versus a 4-3. But I think these guys will still get the job done. Just make it difficult to run on us and let our linebackers do the job. 87, 86, 88, 91, and 91 on the offensive side. The line there, the left-hand side is elite. McChristopher finally developing like an elite tight end up to a 91 overall. Significant drop-off at wide receiver. Needs to be said. It's a young offense, young skill. We're going to go with the 5-star Diedrich as one of our wide receivers with that prolific 98 speed. I mean, we might want to put Wanogo there as well. Another speedster. Speed kills. Running back room, we got depth. Maybe we don't have the game changer guy, but we got 4 deep that we feel real comfortable with. But we got maybe one of the best quarterbacks we've ever recruited. Tanner Sherrill. He's going to lead us to the promised land this year. Let's just kind of share, like, what is skill caps looking like here? I mean, he got the Road Dog Mental Magician. Looks pretty good. And I mean, this guy here, Jesus. So he's like peaked at speed, which is fine. But his IQ could be off the charts. Obviously, 6-down awareness is what's affecting his rating there a little bit. His accuracy can almost max out. His power can get maxed out. His elusiveness can get maxed out. If somehow we don't win it this year, seeing this guy develop 9 and 10, if it goes year 9 and year 10, will be a silver lining. All right, so the midway point of the season coming out of our bye, we're undefeated. 4-0, 1-0 in the SEC. This is where we got the gauntlet at the end of the year. We got LSU, winless Mizzou, Vandy, Mississippi State. So that should be like, we should be, honestly, we should be undefeated going into the final 3. But the final 3 could very well make or break this season. And regardless of how high we are on the freshman quarterback, a freshman quarterback running that gauntlet, it's going to be tough. We get a 4-sack performance against Mississippi State. And that brings us to undefeated for that gauntlet. Kentucky, Florida, Oklahoma. Looking at the conference standings, we sit atop. But Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, all there. We got to handle business. Up first, Kentucky, 14th ranked in the nation, 6-3. We should win. Come on. Come on. Okay, first little stumble. 1 score loss, breaking the undefeated season. Kentucky jumps up to number 10 in the polls. 34-31. The quarterback played perfect. Our quarterback played like a freshman. Luckily against Florida, they didn't really hold up their end of the bargain. They look good at the mid-season, but they've slipped up. They're 5-5, so we got to win this one. If we don't, I think we have no complaints if we are not in the SEC championship. We do handle business. We go to 6-1. And we finish with ranked Oklahoma. How are we 1 loss and we're out of the fucking picture? Luckily, Auburn and Alabama play each other. Oh my God, man. We fucking miss out on this. All right, let's see it. We got Oklahoma ranked. And honestly, it almost feels like it doesn't matter. It's almost out of our hands. Because I don't know, even with a loss, I can still somehow see them being like, oh, okay, we do win. So we're 7-1 in SEC play. Great win over Oklahoma. Terrence Roberts, 6 sacks. What? It's probably a school record. That guy was a D tackle, and there we go. Revenge rematch from last year's SEC championship against Auburn. Honestly, for the playoff run, we'll see what happens. Sim it out. But for this one, it's time. Auburn is the defending national champions. They're the number 1 team in the nation. Let's humble them. We're about to unleash one of the best freshman quarterbacks we've seen in a college football 25 rebuild. Right on their ass. What they think? They're like, oh, we beat them last year. Oh, yeah, this and that. We got a Tiger. Whatever their Tiger's name is. Mitch. You got Mike at LSU. Auburn has Mitch. I restart the game. Luckily, their offense is not doing much better. 0-0 ball game. Still looking for the first score. Boom. There we go. Costco guys, that was a boom, and our defense brings the doom. Oh, there we go. Throw on the run. Broken play, hit a sick juke, break both ankles. There we go. Cheese it up. Quick throws, easy throws, whatever it takes. There we go. Get in there, baby. Go win this. And my O-line, my 90s across the board offensive line. I don't think they've got us any sort of hold up on plays that need a little bit of developing. Like, we got to let this route develop here, fellas. Can you give me 10 seconds? Oh, don't need 10 seconds. But can you give me a couple steamboats? No. We're just going to make it dramatic. Safety is, I don't know, whatever. Throw it out. Love my quarterback ice cold. So all of our timeouts into Auburn territory. Like, this is from a creator. I can't. This video won't be. It's Saturday. I have to go do stuff. This is my last chance, or I'm gonna fucking miss a day of uploading because of the goddamn Auburn Tigers. Come on. Let's see it. First and goal. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. Could have been worse. Level sail, sure. Someone wants to get in the goddamn end zone here. That'd be great. There's nothing there, man. Jesus Christ. What is my O-line doing? Like, right tackle, just stand in front of him. Give me that half millisecond. Oh, there's like a pick route, but they don't call it. Yes! Give me the last check mark. SEC champions. 27-24. Goddamn right. Freshman quarterbacks, I mean... the O-line was terrible. The fact that he was able to do what he did, especially to win it at the end with the state of that offensive line play, gigantic. Let's celebrate it. Let's roll this into a final playoff run. We have achieved all of our challenges here in the UL-Monroe rebuild. Let's go. We have the first round of the playoff. The 12-2, number 6 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers try to prevent us from going to 2 straight national championship games. And unfortunately, like many teams before them, they got ran over. Now we get Kentucky. And Kentucky gets ran over. Ooh, that's a national title game against Jacksonville State. Whose rebuild are we playing in? How the hell did this happen? Jacksonville State beat Penn State, and then NC State. Okay. So our third straight national championship appearance. And you'd like to think, I mean, Jacksonville State is, you know, kind of went toe-to-toe with our program, our level of, like, program development. But you would think that this should be a dub, all things considered. And we're getting out early. I mean, we might get shades of what happened against USC, where he dumped almost 60 on him. 28 zip. I think we're going to try to finish this one out on a strong note. Unless we choke it here in the second half. 2 straight touchdowns for Jacksonville State, making it interesting. Field goal for Monroe. It's a 10-point game. And that last little, oh yeah, there we go. We just kind of pile on. Garbage time score for Jacksonville State. But that is how you end the rebuild. Louisiana Monroe, their second national title in 3 years. Surprise, you know, again, Jacksonville State, that's an interesting one. Would not have guessed that to be the final national championship. But it took us 8 seasons to get all of our goals. But this checkmark goes down as a very successful rebuild. And I thank you guys very much for tuning in, as always. Let me know in the comment section below which school we should rebuild next here in College Football 25. If it is your first time, stop by. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Getting very close to 175,000 subscribers on the channel. Hit that like button for the old YouTube robots. Helps promote the channel and send it out to get new people to maybe check out what we're doing over here. And that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya. Have a good one.